Hi, I'm Saket Bansal, and I have done many one-on-one conversation with various Scrum Masters to help them in finding right answers for their interview question. And one of the question many times comes up in the conversation is, tell me something about yourself. So in this video, I am exploring various tips to answer this particular question. Let's start with the mindset. When I'm hearing this particular question, tell me something about yourself, I should focus on what is the real question behind this question. In my understanding, the real question is, tell me what you brings on the table. Tell me how you are suitable for this particular job. Tell me about yourself in such a manner so that we can select you for this particular job description. Yeah? That is something I should be focusing on. Rather than focusing on telling me something which may not be relevant for this particular, telling about myself which is not relevant for this particular job, I should focus on things which are relevant here. So how can we find that out? Simple 3-step process to start with and some more additional 4 steps to improve your answer. The step 1, I should focus on understanding the need of this particular job. What exactly they are looking for, what is the overall work environment, how this particular need matches with my current and my past experience. So first is, how do I know about their need? Maybe the best thing you can start with is analyzing the job description. There is a possibility sometimes the reality and job description is not matching, but for you, the first information you have is something which they have published. So I, as a candidate, should spend good time understanding the job description. I should also spend time in understanding the other Scrum Masters who are working in that particular organization, checking what kind of job work they are doing, what kind of education they have, what kind of certification they have done, what they complain about their work, what they appreciate about their work. How can I do it? By following them on social media. So I can check that particular company's LinkedIn page. I can see the employees who are working in that particular organization and I can understand their feed. So I do research about my target company and if possible about interviewer also if I have the availability of his names and details as well. Step 2, now I need to focus on myself. I know what they are looking for. Now I need to figure it out. How can I present my information, my history, my present in a manner so which is more suitable for this particular job. Now you may have 10, 20 years of experience. You might have done many things, but you need to focus on those areas which are suitable for this particular job description. For example, if they are working in a project environment, I need to focus on where I have worked as a Scrum Master in a project context. If they are working in a product environment, I need to focus on how do I facilitate product discovery and overall value delivery as a Scrum Master. If you see that they have a little incline towards technology and they use particular set of technology, then I probably want to show my experience with the technology and how I bring that experience here so that I am more suitable for this particular job. So that's a second thing I need to focus on. The third thing I need to focus on is how my future aspirations and goals are aligned with this job profile. So I would say that I as a person should see my history, my present, and my future. How can I find alignment between these three and this job description? The more and more alignment I bring, the easier it would be for the recruiter to select me. So say if the job talks about facilitation, or job talks about working in a particular domain, or job talks about agile transformation, and I can demonstrate that I have an aspiration in growing in that particular area, I am studying about a particular domain or I'm getting into transformation space, that additional stuff will be very useful for this particular answer or this particular question. So 3 simple process. Start with knowing your customer and the company. Look at your history and your present information and see how your future is also aligned with this particular job. So think about these things. You should make a note of it. You have to make a note of 10 things which are needed in the company. Look at your steps, make a things which you are good at, find the overlap, see what probably they will need in the future, think about what your interest areas are, see the overlap, and then frame the question. It is just not generically speaking, you need to really make a notes about it. Yeah, that's how you start. Now somebody will say, should I do it for all the jobs? The answer is yes. Yeah, it is not about this question. It is all about the whole interview. If you don't have an understanding of the role, if you don't have an understanding of alignment between your history and their expectation, you will face challenges in each and every question. So it's just a beginning, yeah, but the preparation is useful for answering the other question in this particular interview as well. So after looking at these three core areas, now I want to focus on the step 4, which is more about be aware of anti-patterns. Now, many times these anti-patterns also varies from organization to organization, and some organization may have a very kind of hotspot for some anti-patterns. So say a product organization may have a hotspot for project mindset. So when I'm giving an interview in a product organization, I stay away from talking about budgeting and on-time delivery and those kind of words, because maybe the people not like it. Usually showing the micromanagement and I am the one who do all the things may also not get liked by those people. So you need to be aware, probably make a list that looking at the people who are working there and my understanding of this job, probably they will not like these kind of things. In general, when I'm answering the question, I should not show that I am the only one who saved everything here. Probably that can put some of the recruiter at off. I probably should more focus on how my team has delivered things, how we as a team delivered value, how we made customer happy, how stakeholders were helpful and engaged in delivering this particular thing. Now, as a leader, if I see and I appreciate my team members, my stakeholders, it clearly shows that I was able to work well with them and I produced a good result. If I show something like I made my team do things, it probably may put some people off because they may not like that you doing some kind of micromanagement. So whatever type of people are, usually you appreciating your team and demonstrating that your team and stakeholder came together to deliver a value will always be appreciated fact. So focus on more facilitative, leading, available, not stringent to various boundaries, always showing adaptability and learning attitude is a good idea. So be aware of these anti-pattern. The fifth point I want to point out here is keep it natural. Things can get double checked. Yeah. So you don't have to show a very great picture. Whatever you are bringing here, be ready for detailed discussion on each and every point. So say if you talk about that I have participated in our agile transformation in our organization, be ready to talk about 10-15 minutes about your agile transformation. If you are talking about I do virtual facilitation using tool Miro, tool X, tool Y, tool Z, be ready to explain what all challenges you face in those particular tool, what you like about them. You should have a story around it. So the point here is be natural and real, because there is a highly likelihood some of the points which you are mentioning in the beginning will get drilled into. Yeah, so there will be a drill down of some of the facts in the future conversation. So be ready for that. The sixth point is practice it. Practicing this answer is very important. Now, somebody will say, oh, does it mean that I need to write it down and memorize it? Could be, yes. Yeah. So you can write it down, you can memorize it, or you can use your phone, speak with your phone and record it. I usually tell that you should practice 7 times, because by the time you finish the 7th recording or 7th writing, you probably will get a good grip on your answer. There is a possibility you may forget few things. There is a possibility some interviewer will interrupt you. They will not let you complete your script. Be ready for it. Don't try to be too stringent about that. Yeah, but preparation always helps to get started. Yes, you take the challenges as they go, as they come. Now, another important thing along with practice it, how long you should speak. My recommendation is 1 to 3 minutes. Less than 1 minute, maybe you are not bringing the sufficient information for the conversation, and then interviewer has to work hard to find out about yourself and your fitment, which is also possible. If you have critical skills, they will do their best to find out how best you can help them in solving the problem. But if there are other available options, then they may not put that much time and energy on you. So usually 1 to 3 minutes. Beyond 3 minutes, people may not be able to put attention to your answers, and it should be more interaction. The interview should be more interaction rather than a monologue you keep speaking. So 1 to 3, 2 is the best, but yeah, that's the range you need to focus on. The final tip, tip number 7 is finish your whole, tell me something about yourself with a question. Maybe what is your expectation from this particular role? Yeah, what do you expect from me, candidate like me, in a particular job situation? Or you may, simple, if you are not that much confident about directly asking them, then you may invite them to ask more. Is there any area you want to know more about? Yeah, so you can say, this is a brief about me. Is there any specific area where you want me to focus more? Yeah, so you can also check that particular interest. Usually closing with the question is always a good idea. So overall, I need to see my customer, my recruiters. I need to understand my past, present, and future and alignment of it. Stay neutral, natural, focus on anti-patterns. Don't try to touch something which might be controversial in a given situation. Practice it and finish it with question. Now, let's try it out. Let's try it out for a Scrum Master. So say I go for a Scrum Master job and I do some research and I find it out that this company is doing Agile and Scrum for a while. They are more focused on delivery now. They are not, they have been through the transformation, other things already. And probably the most they do care for education. I see many people are certified in their organization, and that was also mentioned in the job description. So they do like certified people because the job description was talking about it. And they have a particular interest in a given domain because that's the domain area they are working in. They are doing as a project Scrum, which means they are a service company. So I did this kind of research. That's my first point. And then I am coming with the 10 years of experience where I have worked in various service companies. I was doing development, and then from last 3 years, I am doing Scrum Master job. So that could be my history. So how do I get started and probably answer it? So let's try it out. Thank you for inviting me for this Scrum Master job interview. I started my professional life 10 years ago. I started as a developer. I used to code in .NET, C#.NET, and we used to use SQL Server as a database. Along with development work, I started engaging with my customers in giving customer demos, facilitating the learning about the tool, supporting them, and in understanding the requirement with them, supporting my product owner. And I was also doing various team coordination to help them understand the client requirement well. This led to me getting more and more involved in team leadership role, and gradually I moved into Scrum Master profile. From last 3 years, I am doing Scrum Master. I have worked in various domains, banking and financial sector. I have also worked in a media industry. I worked with various technology, though I am not expert in technology, but I can speak my developers' language, and it helps me in empathizing and helping them in ensuring built-in quality. My team is spread across multiple continents, and we do many events virtually. I am expert in doing virtual team facilitation. I can use tools like Miro, and I can also create various engaging meetings using various structures like liberating structures. And we ensure that we make best use of our sprint planning meeting. Our sprint reviews also closes with some actionable action items. And I need to create always some creative environment for our retrospective meetings. So I enjoy facilitating Scrum meetings and thinking about new ideas all the time to make sure best use of people's time. I'm also part of our Scrum Master community of practice where we meet every month. We have a rotating leadership role in community of practice. So I have played the leadership role as well to help other Scrum Masters in the organization to ensure and learn facilitation skills. I'm also passionate about learning more about the domain because I think in order to work well with the stakeholder, I need to speak their language. So I recently did a certification in the insurance sector because that helped me in getting better understanding of my stakeholder conversation. I'm also passionate about improving my process skills, ways of working skills, and I recently did advanced Scrum Master program from Scrum Alliance. Is there any specific area you want me to focus more on? But this is like a brief introduction of mine. So this was my sample elevator pitch. And I should tell you that it was not in a one go I could do it. I played at least 5-6 times before I could reach to this particular elevator pitch. So the point I'm trying to make is, even though it was hypothetical, I could speak anything, It takes time. Yeah, it takes time to bring the information in a small piece, and it required practice. So the only thing is practice it. Yes, whatever I mentioned in the statement is not relevant. You may mention other things. You may talk about certification. You may not talk about certification. You may talk about tools, Jira, matrices, and all, or you may not. Depending upon what do you understand about the target organization. You may not talk about Scrum Master community of practice. I spoke about it. You may not talk about, you are too much focused on domain understanding as well as technical understanding. You can stay away from it. You can more focus on process domain also. You can talk about Kanban, you can talk about scaled agile if those things you feel are needed by the end customer. So depending upon your analysis you need to put, there is no default script which we can be played by the Scrum Master. So overall, understand your recruiter need, understand your history, your future, and align that with their target job description. Be aware of some of the anti-patterns. Be natural. Always try to bring the authentic information. Practice your pitch, yeah, and finish with the question. So these things should help you in answering your tell me something about yourself question.